So these are the experiments that we are going to do in our lab classes. So 1 to 10 we'll try to cover it, and after that experiment on digital signal processor or DSP kit, that I think will not be able to do, because for that case we need to come to the college. So first we'll try to cover the first 10 points in our DSP lab. So first experiment is the generation of waveforms in continuous format as well as in discrete format. Generation of waveforms means generation of sine wave, cosine wave, unit step, unit impulse, ramp, square. This type of waveform you need to generate, and you have to show that that waveform provides the specific result depending on the frequency, amplitude, or anything else if needed. So for that case, we need to use the MATLAB platform. So all of you heard about MATLAB. The full form of MATLAB is Matrix Laboratory. Means whatever the operation will be happen here, the operation will be happen over a matrix. Means for sine wave it will generate a matrix of sine wave and the operation will happen. And in MATLAB platform, this part is called the command window. Here you will write any command and that command will be executed. Suppose if we write a equal to 5, so that command will be executed. It will be stored, 5 will be stored at A. So that is your command window, and that upper part is called the MATLAB file creator part. Here you can create your MATLAB file. Suppose you are trying to write down a sine wave code, so that code you can write here so that you can save it and you can use it for future purpose. So here you can do that, and that can be opened by using script. Here new script, if you open new script, so new script will open, and here you can write your code so that you can save it from here. These are the basic. Now come to the code part. Here first we are trying to generate a sine wave depending on defined frequencies, and also you can control the amplitude. Just check it. Whenever you will write any code, before writing or before starting the code, always you will add these three line. Is it visible now to all of you? Okay, thank you. So these 3 line always you will add up initially before a code. What is the function of these 3 line? CLC basically clear your command window. That is your command window. If we execute, keep in mind, whenever you will run any code, just you can select the portion, make a right click, and that is evaluate selection. So the code will run, or simply F9, or simply if we use that button, that code will also run. So what is the function of CLC? The function of CLC is that if we evaluate that section, see that command window clears. Suppose A equal to 5. So whatever in the command window, if we use CLC, that command window will clear. Clear all. The clear all command is used to clear all the data stored in the workspace. That is, your workspace means whatever the operation you are doing in your command window. Suppose a equal to 5, I have written b equal to 10. So that will come to your workspace. A equal to 5, b equal to 10. That is stored. So anytime if we use a, that a value will be taken from that position. So whenever you will write small a, that will take a equal to 5. Similarly, whenever you will write small b, that will take b equal to 10. So the clear all portion is used to clear that workspace. What is the importance of that? Suppose you are trying to write a code and there is a variable, suppose b, where you want to store any value. If you are not using clear all, and suppose if there already exists a value b equal to something, so what will happen? The code will take that value. So you know that initially whenever you will write something, the every data must be set to 0, so that whatever the new data you will store, the data will consider only that value. That's why we need to write clear all. The close all function used, there is one MATLAB window has opened here. Now if we run a code and if we want to check, suppose we are running that code. Suppose we are running that code, depending on the code, that data you are getting, figure 1. Okay. That close all is used to close all the figures or any other windows that are opening except the MATLAB main window. So if we use close all, you can see that figure will be closed. Figure is closed. So whatever the number of windows will be open, all the windows will be closed. So these are the 3 basic steps you need to add whenever you will write a code. I think it is clear to all of you. Now another thing, whenever you will write a code, you will not use command window directly to write the code, because whatever you will write in your command window, that will be executed and you will not able to reset, or you will not able to suppose you have made a mistake, you have written a equal to 5, that should be a equal to 6. So you will able to come to the previous position, so that you will erase a equal to 5 and you will write a equal to 6. That is not possible here. So always you will write your code by opening a new script. You will come to new, you will come to script, so that new script will open, and here that new script will open, and here you will write your code, so that you can, if you write anything, that will not be executed initially. So any places if there is a mistake, you can use it. Okay. So whenever you will write a code, always you will use the new script file. Next, here we are trying to generate a sine wave. Now sine wave main equation, you know, y equal to a sine 2 pi ft. The main equation of sine wave is y equal to a sine 2 pi f t, where A defines your amplitude, f defines the frequency, and t defines the time. T defines the time. So here, what you will have, whenever you will write that code, means first you have to mention the value of A, the value of F, and the value of T. Okay. Now, how the T will be mentioned? Suppose T equal to will be mentioned like that: 0 is to 0.01 is to 5. What is the meaning of that? Meaning of that is, in the x-axis will define by t, and t will taken from 0 to 5. That defines from 0 to 5. So initial value will be 0, final value will be 5. Keep in mind, as we are using a DSP processor, so always you have to mention a finite value. Okay, you cannot mention any infinite value here. So initial and final value you have to mention. If we write it's like that: minus 5, 0.01 is to 5. So initial value will be from minus 5. So range will show in the output that from minus 5 to plus 5. And what is the definition of 0.01? The definition of that: whenever you will execute the code in the discrete format means you will sample all the sequences in the x-axis. The sampling time will be 0.01, or you can say the sampling length between two samples. Suppose that is your sine wave, you will sample that sine wave in discrete format. It will be shown like that. Then this gap will be 0.01. So depending on that gap, 0 to 5 will be splitted. Clear? So that is defined, that gap. If we write 0 is to 1 is to 5, that means 0 to 5 will be splitted by 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and 4 to 5. That many sample you will get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 sample you will get, and the distance between each sample will be 1. So that defines the gap distance between two samples. So whenever you will mention any equations, sine wave equation, cosine wave equation, ramp, step, whatever, you have to mention the t, because over the t or n, you will get your result, as well as you will get the amplitude. As well as you will get the amplitude also. That amplitude also you have to mention, and that amplitude will be stored at A. Similarly, the frequency will define the frequency range also. So that is the 3 parameter that you have to mention whenever you will write a code. So come to the code, you can see I have mentioned t equal to 0 is to 0.01 is to 5. That means t will be defined from 0 to 5 in the x-axis, and the gap between two samples will be 0.01. Next, we have considered frequency f1, f2, a1, a2. We are trying to show two different signal for two different frequency. That's why we have considered two different frequency, two different amplitude. Whatever we have written, input enter the value of frequency. If we write input enter the value of frequency, what will happen? It will ask to enter the value of frequency. You can directly use f1 equal to suppose 2. So frequency will be taken as 2. But if we ask the enter the value of frequency, so in a single code you can use any frequency value each and every time. You will run the code, you are using 2, again you can use 1, you can use 0.5, whatever. In a single code, you don't need to edit f1 again and again. Similarly, f2 enter the frequency, a1 enter the amplitude, a2 enter the amplitude of a2, like that. Next is subplot. What is the function of subplot? Subplot see, whenever you will execute a code, the code will show the output. Now, in an output, suppose when you are running a code, you are getting 4 different outputs that you need to show like that. Suppose sine wave here, suppose cosine wave here. In that way, for different output you need to show. So to do that, you need to use subplot here. Subplot, if we create 4 places to show for different output, you need to do the 2, 2, and that position will be first, that position will be second, that is third, that is fourth. So if we want to show any data in that first position, 2, 2, 1, so that will consider this position. If we consider that position, it will be 2, 2, 2. For that position, 2, 2, 3, and for that position 2, 2, 4. Now what is 2, 2? That defines the row. Number of row will be 2, and that defines the column. Number of column will also be 2. So number of 2 columns, number of 2 rows will create 4 position, and each position will be defined by that value 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. If we use subplot 2, 3, that means it will create 2 rows and 3 columns. So that is your, that will be position value 1 to 6. If position value is 1, so that will be that position. For position value 5, that will be that position. Like that the subplot operates. Okay. So that is your first code. y1 equal to a1 sine 2 pi f1 t. Plot t comma y1. If we want to plot, or if we want to show the value of y1 with respect to t, that is your x-axis position, that is your y-axis position. All of you know that a point defined by x1 comma y1 means x1 is the x-axis point, y1 is the y-axis point. So whenever you will plot, keep in mind within first bracket t or the x-axis value will be first, y-axis value will be second. That R defines the output color will be what? R means red. You can use 3-point RGB. If we define R, that will be red. If we define G, that will be green, and for blue it will be B. So we are plotting y1 across the time axis. So it will be t comma y1. That t value will be taken from here, and in the y1, a1 sine 2 pi f1t. Here, whenever f1 and a1 is asking, already I am putting the values. So that code will run. That code will be shown where subplot 2 to 1 means for a 2 cross 2 position or 2 cross 2 canvas, the first position will define the y1 axis or y1 value. X label means in the x-axis it will shown as time. Y label means in the y-axis it will show the amplitude, and title will define the title as F1. Grid on means it will make the grid open. So if we write that code simply, first this portion, before suppose enter the value of frequency f1. Suppose f1 is the frequency for y1. F1 is the frequency for y1. We are taking f1 as 2. Next is enter the value of frequency for f2. That will be considered for this y2, f2. So f2 will take 0.5. Similarly, enter the amplitude value a1, that is for y1 we are considering 2, suppose, and for a2 also we are considering 2. So if we run that, we can see in the first position of the subplot, the sine wave is shown. That is your sine wave y1 that is stored in the first position. So in the same way, if we run all the code, that code defines the second position with the different frequency. That is the second position with the different frequency. You can see the change in frequency result change in the waveform. That frequency defines more frequency, that defines less frequency. So if frequency increases, the gap become less. If the frequency reduces, the gap become more. Same result if you want to show in the discrete format, then in spite of plot, you are using plot. In spite of plot, you will use stem. If we consider plot, that will show the result in continuous format. If we use stem, the result will be shown in discrete format. Subplot 2 to 3 means that result will be shown in third position, and also in discrete format. You can check it, the result showing in discrete format. Similarly, the fourth position, the result will be shown in discrete format. Results are showing in discrete format. So clear how to write a basic code? Yes. Stem. Suppose the first waveform, sine wave, that is, you can see that a continuous waveform. To display the waveform in continuous format, simply I have used plot. But if we display or if we use that waveform as a discrete format, we have used stem. Now whenever you are using stem, the discrete format provides the gap. That gap between two samples is how much? The gap will be the value of this. As we are showing the result with respect to t, the gap will be 0.01. So total length, that will be from 0 to 5. That will be from 0 to 5, 0 to 5, and the gap for each and every sample will be 0.01. If we change the gap, you can see the result are changing. Any question? Okay, so that is for sine wave. So if we write the same code or same format for cosine wave, in spite of sine, if we use cos, what we will do, same thing will be there, only sign will be changed. You have to replace the sine by cos, so that will define the cosine wave. But because we know the sine wave equation, cosine wave equation is same, only the value sine and cos changes. So same thing will happen if we consider cosine wave. Just we have replaced sine by cos. So again it will ask frequency. First frequency 2, second frequency 0.5. Any frequency you can consider. With respect to that, you will get your result. Suppose amplitude 2. So that will give you the value cosine wave. Okay. So it will start from here. So that is your cosine wave. Cosine wave for frequency 2, that is for frequency 0.5, and the same for discrete format. That is unit step wave. Unit step wave defines what? That is your unit step signal. Value will be 1, means zero to n or 0 to t, whatever, all the values will be 1, and for less than 0, values will be 0. So simply you have to write that code to generate a step wave. So what we are doing here, input, enter the range. Simply I consider the range, that how much range or how much sample you are going to consider that value, and you will put the range with respect to your data or from your mind, whatever you want to do. Y is your output. So what we are doing, initially we are making y 0, y equal to 0, then n equal to n1. So whatever the range, that will be stored in n, and here if and else, if loop has been used, if n greater than equal to 0, if this condition satisfied, y will be 1. Simple code. If that condition n greater than equal to 0 satisfied, y will be 1, and we will plot that y. So for 0 to positive range, always y will be 1, so that value will be shown as 1, and for -1 to negative range, all the y value will be 0, as that condition is not satisfied. By default y is 0. So if we run that code, enter the range of n. What should be the range of n? Suppose we are considering negative and positive both. Suppose minus 10 to 10. Here between 2 is to minus 10 to 10, we are not considering any gap. If it is not considered any gap, that means by default the gap is 1. Keep in mind, by default the gap will be 1. See, that is your step signal. From minus 10 to 10 we have considered, and minus 10 to minus 1, all the values are zeros. Whenever it comes to 0, 0 to 10, all the values shows 1. So that is your unit step. So in spite of 1 unit step, if we want to make the value range will be 2, y equal to 2 you can make it, y equal to 3 you can make it. So in that way the value will be changed. Clear? Unit step. In case of unit step, you are using stem here because we are considering samples. Okay, if we don't consider samples, if you want to make it continuous, then you can use plot. And keep in mind one thing: whenever you are using plot, suppose plot t comma y or plot n comma y, whatever, keep in mind that value must be like that, minus 10 is to 10, but that middle gap range should not be 1, because that is very difficult to plot between one gap. That gap should be very less, 0 0 1. If we use t equal to minus 10 is to 0 0 1 is to 10, then if we use plot, it will show you the result in any case. But it does not mean that it will not show the result. If we consider t equal to simply minus 10 to 10, the result may be not completely perfect. Okay. See, these are the very basic. Simply what you have to do, you have to write down the equation. That is one important part. That is impulse addition, that will come later. Ramp signal. See, for ramp the code is m into t. What is ramp signal? That is your ramp signal. In that ramp signal, what is the code? That is your t, or that is n, whatever, m into slope into that t value. Suppose t value we are considering 1, so it will take 1. T value we are considering 2, it will take position 2, like that. And if we consider slope, suppose slope equal to 2, so it will take m that defines the slope, it will take y by x by y. Okay, so if we consider m equal to 2, that means you are considering x equal to 2y. That means x defines what? t-axis. In the t-axis, if we consider 1, in the y-axis it will consider 2. So that will be your first position, like that. Again, if we consider x equal to 2, in the y-axis it will consider 4. So that will be your second point. So in that way the slope will create. If m equal to 1, then it will be x equal to y. Then the slope will be exactly 45 degree. Like that the slope m functions. So here m defines the slope, and the value of slope we are considering value of slope 2. So see, when x1, y will consider 2. Range কম দেখাচ্ছে. See, when x is 0.5, that will be your 0.5, y is 1. You can check it. When x is 0.5, that position y is 1. X is 1, y is 2. So that is your slope. If we consider slope 1, it will show you the opposite result. If we consider slope 1, see, x is 1, so y is 1. X is 2, y is 2. Like that. So that is your ramp signal. Impulse response. What is impulse response? That is the delta function. Delta n, that will be 1 for n equal to 0, otherwise it will be 0. Okay, so we are writing a code. We are writing a code here where we are trying to show the result 2 delta n minus 2 plus delta n plus 4, something like that. If we run that code, just first, that is delta n plus 2 and delta n plus 4. So that we are trying to do the 2 delta n plus 2 delta n plus 2 plus delta n plus 4. We are trying to generate two sequence, that is delta n plus 2 and delta n plus 4, and we are trying to adapt these two sequence. That is the problem, and solution is that the range given -5 to 5. If the range is not given, you can take it by your own way. Range is given -5 to 5. So what we have written here, x equal to 2 into 0s 1, 3, 1s 1, 1, 0s 1, 7. What is the function of that? What is the function of that code? Just come here. That code first we are trying to write delta n plus 2. So that defines, we are considering -5 to +5. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. That is 0. So delta n plus 2 defines that position, -2 position, and the value will be multiplied by 2. So that value defines 2. So first we are trying to show that result. So in that result, -5, 2 plus 5 defines 11 number of sample, means it defines the matrix with 11 values, where that position of the matrix defined the -5 position, and that position of the matrix defined +5 position. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to write the matrix values, first three values, that first three values we are trying to write as 0, 0, 0. Then at -2 position we are trying to write the value 2, and all the values from -1 to 5, that is total 7 value as 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that will be your matrix for that case. So if we can able to show that matrix in the output, that will be your code. This code 2 delta n plus 2. So to show that, you have to write a code as zeros 1, 3. That defines 1 defines the number of rows, 3 defines the number of columns. The first value defines the number of rows, third value defines the number of columns. Means in the matrix range, the first considering 1 row 3 column value. That means 1 row 3 column value, and each value will be defined by 0. That means 1 row 3 column value, each value will be defined by 0. Okay. So if we run that 0 1, 3, the first 3 value becomes 0. Then we have 2. So obviously 2 will be multiplied here. So if we make that value 1, just write once. We have to represent only one value. 1 means 1 row 1 column. So 1 row 1 column. That will define the next value of the matrix as 1, as like that 1. So 0, 0, 0, 1 is defined. Next we have 7 number of zeros. So to represent 7 number of zeros, again zeros 1 row 7 column. So zeros 1, 7 will define the 7 number of zeros from here. So that matrix will define this matrix, and that matrix, if multiplied by 2, this one value will be 2. Clear or not? Is that clear? Okay. So that is the function of zeros and ones that will be used to create the delta function. So depending on that, see, first we have written x1. In the x1 we are storing first that value 2 delta n plus 2, and x2 we will store second value in x2 we will store delta n plus 4, and then x equal to x1 plus x2. So what is happening? x1 2 zeros 1, 3, 1 gap, 1s 1, 1 gap, zeros 1, 7. So that creates the 3 0 matrix, 1 matrix, and again 7 0 matrix. So it will show you the first value, and that is x1. If we stem n with respect to x1, if we stem x1 with respect to n, that will show you the result of x1, and that will be stored in 3, 1, 1 subplot position, means 3 row 1 column first position. So if we run that, you will get your that delta function, that is delta n minus 2 multiplied by 2, so the range become 2. That is your first value. Similarly, delta n minus 4 means first value will be 0, second value will be 1. After that all the values will be zeros. So if we do that, it will give you delta n minus 4. Sorry, delta n plus 4. Delta n plus 4, first value will be 0, second value will be 1, all other values will be zeros. So that is your delta n plus 4, and the range is, amplitude range is 1. So if we add up this, what will happen? This will come here. So minus 4 will give you 1, minus 2 will give you 2. So simply we are adding up, subplot x equal to x1 plus x2. Keep in mind, whenever you will add two sequence, the range for the both sequence must be same, otherwise addition will not be there. For x1 the range is minus 5 to plus 5, for x2 the range also minus 5 to plus 5. So if we add up, it will give you the result, this one, minus 4 to minus 2. If these two value will be there, other all values will be 0. Clear? If up to that clear, then you should write down the, okay. So that is all we need to explain for the first lab session. Now what you have to do, you have to write all that part in a PDF format and you have to send it to me. I will mention the my mail ID. The mail ID I have mentioned, you will not send there. You will send to another mail ID that I will provide you. And with that, you have to consider two more code that you have to write. One is xn equal to 3 delta n minus 5 plus 2 delta n minus 2 plus delta n plus 1, and second one is xn equal to 5 sin omega t plus 2 sin omega t. If we do that, for the first case the range we have to consider minus 10 is to minus 10 to plus 10. For second case the range is minus 5 to plus 5, and frequency you will consider first frequency as 2. So this is omega 1, this is omega 2. So f1 you will consider 2, f2 you will consider 0.5. So this